willing to do to make our dreams come true. Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamare. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. But how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on.
Freedom,
They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished.
freedom.
They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop us. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom 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 for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Think not that we are earthborn, we come from earth, we may be, but we are life on spirit, and without knowing we can never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, bring it master teacher. Bring it freedom for the master, master teacher. 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 Freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on.
Freedom,
They tried every trick in the book. They didn't finish.
freedom.
They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down and make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher. Bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher.
There's a concentrated effort to stop it. They'll do everything to stop us, especially now. Because where is our
He's
opposition?
been fighting for us for so long. So many schools of thoughts we've been through, yeah, to keep us strong. So tell me, what is it that you're willing to do to make our dreams come true? Yeah, make our dreams come true. Been a long time coming, but now we're here. So won't you stand up and show no fear? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. 'Cause he's a man of the hour. They kidnapped him for building Tamarack. He put his life on the line for us all. And for the truth, the lies must fade away. Fade away. It's been a long time coming. Yes, let's be strong. For the 7 seals are breaking. It won't be long to make our dreams come true. For a life that's new. Some are called and few are chosen. Said, how about you? For the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. Freedom for the master, master teacher. never be free. Knowledge of this was lost when we were cast into blindness. The master teacher came and broke the chains of bondage. For the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, freedom, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the freedom for the master, master teacher, freedom for the master, bring the master teacher, bring the freedom for the master, master teacher, 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 freedom for the master.
They did everything in their power to take this land and make sure that what's happening right now does not go on.
Freedom,
They tried every trick in the book. They ain't finished.
freedom,
They tried slander, defamation of character. They tried to lock brothers up, harass sisters on the street, stop every car coming down to make sure they did everything they could. And not one person come out and help us. Why? Because they had us marked as a cult. Oh, there's some crazy suicide cult.
bring home now, bring home now. It's freedom, master teacher, freedom, master teacher.
Family of Wusabat, the Sabians, almost Batu. Once again, not Rahubat Moisar, Khalil Wusabat, Pa Mosbatu. It is to say, greetings to you all, family of Wusabat, Pa Mosbatu, the Sabians. I am Haptwy Ray Atam Hatap, one of the many student teachers, feminines as well as masculines of the master teacher, Parnabab Yananan, affectionately known to us as Baba Yanun, incarnated deity into the body of His Excellency, Dr. Malachi Z.K. York Okran, 33 degrees over 720 degrees.
Haptwy, your mic is muted on the Zoom.
Oh, okay, just turn it off. It's fine. Can we be heard on Zoom?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, Tawatak. Let's do a second take on that one.
Sure.
Obviously, so we like to say, Nohun Rohumkum Bipa Nadaru. We greet you all by way of the overseers, Pa Nadaru. I am Haptwy Ray Atam Hatap, one of the many students.
Rahubat Haptwy, we can't hear you.
You can't hear us?
Or I don't know if it's only me. Anyone on Zoom? Can you hear Haptwy?
We can hear clearly.
Tua.
It's clear.
Tua.
Tua.
Okay, we can be heard on.
We could hear you on Zoom, Zamal.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's continue, okay? Right, so today's class is called The Circle and the Square and You. But before we start, we can open up with a little, what we call a
My
novel.
bad, that was my side. We can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So we open up with a little, what we call a prayer. This prayer is coming from the scroll called Pa Mutsapu the Nine. We can say it in our own Lahaj Misbatia, then we can translate into English. Okay? It reads, Pa Namas Ur, the prayer. Munwapo Hayananun Namuz. Nawapians, let us pray. Muslafu Nunun Yake Athir Jawif Yakas Ad Nunun. Our own ancestors who are inside of our own, who are inside of our own genes. Us Roy nun, hear us. Lame anun namuz. Hear us when we pray. Aghfornun. La he na hamul ankum. Hear us when we pray. Aghfornun. La he hamul ankum. Forgive us for neglecting you all. Wo nasui. La he darut ankum. And forgetting to call you all. Lame anun hajuja nasur, when we needed help. And rahul ankum, and ignoring you all. Khafir shalil hayatnun, all most of our lives. Anun talub, we seek, and ghafurnus we seek your all forgiveness. Anun darur laye ankum. We turn towards you all, lahe tosyun, for protection, wo hadayan, and guidance. Faye satut. So please, sayun wo haduinun. Protect and guide us. Khalul yawil zamutat wo wakutat. And guide us during these days and times. Asyun shabatnun wo yasal shalil munwapu. Protect our tribe and family of Nawapians. Anun namuz ankum. We implore you all. Namuz mane labab atnun. Praying from our hearts. O anun tawu ankum. Lahev rasu o nazu yananan. And we thank you all for sending down and incarnating Yanun. Pa nabab mul kan or. The master teacher, Wu Munzar Or, and Warner Lehenun for us, Jawif Pa Shachas. Inside the person, Lord Uda, the Manun, born amongst us. Nohun Darur, return Lehenkum, return towards you all. Career Mada'at, with praises. Otumraye, Otundraye, Amundraye. Sawub, Kawun, Sawub. Truth is truth. The reason why we have our own language created or grew or given to us by one of us, the master teacher Pana Babyananden, is so it will open up centers within our brain, especially parts of the brain called the speech centers of the brain, known as the Broca's area, Wernicke's area, and the inferior frontal gyrus. When we are, let's put it like this, Wusabat, we call it our spiritual science and universal knowledge. And the operative word is science, spiritual science, meaning it is scientific in nature. And we always often say this, which is that quantum physics is spirituality explained scientifically. If it cannot be explained scientifically, or if we cannot find out, if we cannot do our research to identify or to confirm what we are teaching, then we've got to put it to one side. Okay, so let me read something to you. And this is coming from an old scroll called the Mennonite Children, written by the master. Let me just find it. Oh, here it is, yeah. Mennonite Children, it's an old scroll for the Mennonite Children. He upgraded this one called the supreme beings of black race. And it reads, page 2, this is one small sentence. It reads, if a person has truth, he should fear nothing it will not matter to a true leader or teacher whether his entire congregation left him. For if he has the truth, his entire congregation would return seeking after it. Get that? So you wouldn't really care whether people leave because you know that they will return. And we know a lot of people has come and gone, but they'll be coming back because Master says truth is truth. And don't believe me, check it out. Now, an important thing to remember is that when the Master says don't believe me, check it out, we should check out everything that he says. If we don't check things out, then we fall into the realm of belief, you see. And everything can be checked out. However, there are certain things that cannot be checked out, which is the birth of the universe and beyond, or before the birth of the universe and before the birth of the universe. And we'll be touching on that. So I just want to read something for you all. Some of the notes here that I took. Still on the subject of don't believe me, check it out. And I thought I want to read. Let me just start off with this part here. Okay, I just want to explain something here that about what we call 9 ether. 9 ether is the combination of all existing chemicals, gases, and elements of natural nature, of which we, the Nagara Nadu, the Negro race, and the Nagara Nadu Salal, the Negro race, are part of. We are our physical composition, our non-physical composition, or our etheric composition is what we refer to as 9 ether, or 9 ether beings. As I said before, 9 ether is the combination of all existing chemicals, gases, and elements of natural nature. And let's continue with that in mind. It reads, this is some notes here I'd like to read to you all. It reads, 9 ether is a combination of all existing chemicals, gases, formulas, and elements of natural nature, and there is nothing more powerful than all existing. 9 ether produces 9 reason, which in turn produces 9 knowledge, which in turn produces 9 mind, which is a prerequisite to Nagara Nadu, Negroid's mental and physical liberation from opposing forces of nature. Okay, so we describe what 9 ether is, and we got 9 reason. Does anybody know what we mean when we say 9 reason?
The highest level of reasoning, perhaps?
Well done, yeah, continue. You're 100% right. Can you?
What some people call cosmic or God consciousness, perhaps?
Good, because now when you talk about God consciousness, you're referring to people, that is a state of awareness.
Yes.
Another name for God consciousness is what they would refer to as metacognition. That's another term for it, God consciousness, or people use the term Christ consciousness, when everybody's mind is unified. Another term for that scientifically is called quantum entanglement, because we are all interconnected on a quantum level. And the master there's a video on YouTube called How to Prove the Existence of the Most High, which says quite a few times in class. It's called How to Prove the Existence of the Most High. The master said it like this. He said, the next level to divinity is that of a quantum existing being. And by the mere fact of him saying that, if people who could catch it, because that short sentence only lasts for about, what I say, about 5 seconds, if that. He's telling you, and also in the Mind Scroll and certain scrolls he's written, he said that is what we should be studying, quantum physics and quantum mechanics, because it explains a lot by which religious people have no explanation for. So that's what we should seek. Okay, that's what you should be studying. Start doing research into quantum mechanics or quantum physics.
You wouldn't be able to write what you said, what you were saying just a minute ago on the board, would you?
Oh, I've got a pen here. But basically, what the next level to divinity
Yes.
is. The next level to divinity is that of a quantum existing being. Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't come prepared with a pen or the paper because I wasn't, I was just walking by and I forgot today was the class and I just happened to stop by and I just decided to stay for the class.
No problem.
But everything is stored in my mind.
Well
so-
done. Hypnotic regression, you're able to recall.
Paper and pen.
Always remember to use the mic though, fam. Okay. Okay. So that's reasoning basically is the highest form of mental processing, which in terms of shapes, going back to the circle and square, we delve into that. Reasoning is a circular mental process. It's infinite, and thinking would be likened unto a square, which is finite. Okay, so we can delve into that science later on. Okay, so we said 9 ether produces 9 reason, which in turn produces 9 knowledge, which in turn produces 9 mind power, which is a prerequisite to Nagara Nadu, Negroid's mental and physical liberation from opposing forces of nature. Now, there's this old scroll the Master wrote called the Right Knowledge Series, and it's called Breaking the Spell on Blacks. A very powerful scroll. And in that particular scroll, the Master puts how we have liberation and we have salvation. Does anybody in the listening audience know the difference between liberation and salvation? Remember to come to the mic, bro. Come to the mic.
For me, salvation is becoming free, being free from something. For instance, and liberation, I would say, it's in my head.
Okay. In actuality, you said being free from something, that's liberation. Yeah.
That's liberation.
That's liberated, being liberated from those opposing forces. And salvation, anybody knows?
Salvation is being accepted.
No. Salvation is very well done, Samar. Salvation is keeping those opposing forces away once a people have been liberated. That's the difference. So when they say, take like Jesus now, when they say he's the savior, he's not here to die on the cross to save you from your sins or save, well, he never came for the whole wide world, according to the scriptures. Anyway, because if you go to John chapter 1, verse 11, reading down, he says, I came to my own, but my own received me not. But to those who do accept me, to those who even believe unto my name, to them I give them the power to come. The word there in the Hebrew is Bein Elohim, children of the Elohim. So Jesus, when they say he's the savior, meaning he came to give the people, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the tribe of Judah, liberation, information, and what will save them would be the information. And as a savior, he's here for give them the knowledge, the liberated knowledge, and the salvation would be once they have been liberated, they apply the knowledge, it will help keep those opposing forces away. So him as the savior was the information that he came to give the people. You follow? Okay. So the master teacher now, he's like, that's why we call him the Lamb. Peace in the land is truly wonderful because as a savior, this is what he's come to give us: the liberation, information. Really, we should say we take it to the next level. The liberation, outformation. I mean, it's come from outside of this 3-dimensional plane from the higher dimensions into this dimension. So it's come from the outside in. So as the savior, that's what he comes to give us. You see?
Thank you.
That's for not just you, so but for everybody in the listening audience, okay? So, okay. And it goes on to say here, nothing is right unless the mind is right, and the mind cannot be right until it has received right knowledge. Because there are two types of knowledge running simultaneously on the planet. There's right knowledge and there's trick knowledge. Okay. So, sorry?
Technology
Trick
is a word I had somewhere.
That's right, technology or multiple technology. You know the term known as politricks
Oh,
or
yes.
politics.
Yeah.
See how they play? Now, I will say something here is that human beings world over are under a spell. And when we say spell, just look at the word S-P-E-L-L, spell, meaning that the spell that's being enforced upon the people is by way of the language. In order to break the spell, you got to look at the language. If anybody tells you anything, the first starting point is the language. Always research. What does that word mean? What does that word mean in the English? What does that word mean in the Greek? What does that word mean in the Latin? Or sometimes you have to step out of European languages. How is that? What's the definition or what's the meaning of that word in other languages or in the Hebrew or in the Arabic or in our case in Mispatia? Because we have our own language which is more precise than the English language. Okay.
I don't know if it's some kind of analogy, but with a children's story, somebody came round to the house with an apple, and he fell asleep for 100 years or something. There was something poison or something in the apple or something. Can't remember the story correctly. Like one of those children's stories that they fell asleep for 100 years after eating this apple. Some kind of witch came with looking like a grandmother. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But it seems like that's what they're talking about, some kind of technology.
Yeah.
I can't.
No.
Oh,
Okay. So I'll come back to you later on. Anyway, so that's what it is that the spell has been enforced upon us by way of the spoken and written word. But hear this now. This is what the master has done. He has used the English language to create the spell, to break the spell. So you use that as part of the antidote or part of the what do you call it? Put that as part of the what word? You know when you got a syringe, you got is it the venom? Oh, the
antidote. Yeah.
The antidote. You use the English language as part. He put it in the antidote and inject it in us, or let's put another way. He used that to break the spell. Part of the poison, put it in the antidote, inject it into us to reverse the spell. Because that's what they have done. They about those of the 6 evil gravitational forces. What they've done is they've made good look bad and bad look good. They've reversed the 9 into a 6. The 9's on top, the 6 at the bottom. So they moved it clockwise and it came into the 6. You see for clock, the top part is the 9, the bottom part is the 6. Yeah. What we're doing now, we are doing what is referred to as an evolutionary reverse or the revolutionary cycle, and we're turning the 6 back up into the 9, moving it from south to east, back to north. From south to 6, moving counterclockwise to east, back to north. 9. Okay.
You know, Michael Jackson, he said, "I'm bad," but he meant he was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's reversal of what you're talking about.
So now let's continue here. I'm going to read something here to you. I've read it before, but I want to read it again about the difference between facts and belief. Because you often hear us say that we don't deal in belief, we deal in facts. So we got to know what is the facts, or we don't deal in. Let me just read it for you guys, okay? So let me ask the question as usual. So, anybody, a listening audience, when we say the facts, what do we mean by that when we say the facts?
Greeting.
Oh,
What you mean by the facts? I would say the actual truth. Meaning someone can say something, but is it true? So that's why we have facts, right? So the facts, it's what makes the answer a true.
so
It's pretty much true or false, right?
that's
It's
right.
within true or false, and to know and to hear the facts of whatever it is, that mean that would be the truth. The facts comes with truth.
Okay.
So that's my interpretation of facts.
Okay, so how do we differentiate between what is truth and how do you differentiate between the truth and a belief?
Okay, because we all believe just like what you said about the clock and the 6 is at the bottom and the 9 it should be up to make it a 9, right? So until we break that spell and turn that 6 back into 9, that would be facts, right?
Right.
So that would be
Thanks for trying, brother. I know you're trying your best. You did come up and try. Well done, brother.
yes.
I feel sorry to give you a pat in the back for coming up. Anybody else on Zoom or Clubhouse?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Simone.
Let me say something, yeah? Facts, yeah, could be when Maya, yeah, is wet, yeah? Raya is hot.
Yeah.
The grass is green. And 5 add 5 could be 10. That's common sense, yeah?
Mm.
Belief, yeah, could be, say you went into Tesco's, yeah? And someone said, I believe, yeah, you went into Tesco's and stole a bottle of water. Then if everything is done by belief, then we'll all be in jail. Is that correct?
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. I hear what you're saying, Isabel. Let me help you all on this. So, here it is now. It's a little thing we wrote here. It's called finding the facts. So in Wolfsburg, we say that facts can be verified by way of experience, evidence, and reasoning. We cannot always use the criteria of evidence, but we can use the criteria of can't always use the criteria of experience, but we can always use the criteria of evidence. Okay, meaning, as the master teacher says, we have what we call. He says, "I incarnated to give you the 9 worthy quests, which are what, where, when, how, who, why, prove, confirm, reveal." Now, the first 6 are questions. Hear the word 9 worthy quests, questions. What, where, when, why, how, who. These are questions. The first 6 are questions. The last 3 are proof. Where's the proof? Confirm and reveal. These are our 9 worthy quests. So we say, what are the facts? Facts are actual, tangible things. They are indisputable and incontestable. If something can be contested or evidence, can be contested or disputed, then simply put, it is not really a fact. Facts are not hearsay, rumor, conjecture, assumption, or anything else. Let's add another word bit to that. Facts are not hearsay, rumor, conjecture, assumption, or belief. Let me stop there. But if a person has a belief system, and that belief system can be proven to be true, is it still a belief?
No.
Come to my brother, so we can't. So the
Very
we do put the mic on. Put the mic on the chair.
Too spontaneous.
So I said it once again. I say it once again. If a person has a belief and that belief can be proven, is that belief still a belief?
Before
No, it's not a belief anymore.
Oh, that's the guy said it. You can be quicker, brother. What were you going to say?
before it was proved to be true, he could only say he believed it. But once it was proved to him to be true, then he no longer needs to believe it because he knows it's a fact.
That's right. It's that simple, really.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And we said, everyone, okay, let's continue.
You know, like one guy said, I believe it's hot today.
Yeah.
Another guy said, well, it's actually 21 degrees today. So what is fact and what is belief?
But
It's an assumption.
yeah, yeah.
Hot is just, what is that? That's neither here nor there. Say hot.
You see, when you say the person says, I think it's 21 at 21 degrees. To some people, that's hot, and to another person, that may be cold.
Yes.
So really, it's subjective, because if a person lives in another country and it is constantly 30 degrees, when they come to the UK and it's like 24 degrees, to them that's cold.
Yeah.
And to us, we got our beach clothes on.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say, what I read anyways is that anybody can say, well, yeah, it feels hot today, but if you say it's 21 degrees, within a certain context, that's hot. Within a UK context.
Yeah. In the UK, it would be hot, but somebody who lives in the Sahara Desert, the 21 degrees is cold. So that is subjective, okay?
Oh, okay, you said,
Yeah.
okay.
However, facts it's not subjective, it is objective. It exists as it is, okay? That's the facts. A belief or even an opinion is subjective, because if you have an opinion and it can be verifiable, is it still an opinion?
No.
It's not. If an opinion cannot be verifiable, is it still is it a fact? No. So it's an opinion, really, it's another word for belief. Because if you have a belief, if you have an opinion and it's solidly entrenched in the facts, it's no longer an opinion, it's the facts. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what you have to get over in our head. We always talk about facts and belief. We've got to know what differentiates a fact from a belief. Okay. And we said that evidence. Okay.
Why do Christians say you cannot understand something, they're a mystery?
Yeah.
Like my brother says that he's a Catholic and he's, oh, you can't understand everything. It's a mystery.
Yeah. Well, it could be a mystery to him because once you do,
he's taught.
Yeah, this is what they're taught. They're taught a belief system. Let me rephrase that. They are programmed to believe. Yeah. Okay. Now let's continue reading. So we often hear something along the lines that a fact is being disputed or challenged. It is almost certain that if the fact is solidly entrenched in a chain of evidence, it can rarely be quashed. A fact is the truth. Obtaining the facts is the primary goal of the investigative process. They either exist or they do not. Hunting down the facts may be easier or challenging as it all depends on their accessibility. Factual evidence can be hidden, destroyed, or buried to prevent discovery. And this is the challenge faced by the investigator. So what this is saying is, as a Munwapo, as a Nawapian, as a Mosbata, as a Sebian, we should become like an investigator and investigate everything. And the master teacher of always, as we said before, says, don't believe me, check it out. The master teacher says this, the master teacher says that. Yeah, but can it be verifiable? Anybody could say something, if it cannot be verifiable, then it is a belief. So the master teacher said that once again, don't believe what I'm saying, check it out. But not just don't believe what he's saying, do the same for everybody else and use those 9 worthy quests on them if they want to impose upon you their belief system. Don't, so, everyone get that? Okay. Any questions before you proceed further?
Yeah, I got a question. Greetings.
Rahobert,
Can you spell this? What does this Miss Batier word mean? Yeah.
Okay, Miss
I'll spell it out for you. Yeah.
Okay, Miss Batier.
No. I got this
Okay.
word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought this Master Secret book. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's got this word. Yeah, that I don't understand. Yeah. So can you pronounce it for me? I'll spell it out for you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
MUQSAS-U. What does that mean?
Spell it again, please.
Okay, I'll spell it out again. Yeah.
Yeah.
M for mother. Yeah.
Yeah.
U for untouchable. Yeah. Q for Quincy.
Mock. Yeah.
S for sugar. A for apple. S for sugar, and then dash. Yeah. And then U for untouchable.
Yeah, that's Miss Batier word for Christian. Mok Sassel.
Mark Sassel. Oh, I see.
Yeah, Mok Sassel.
Okay, Mark
Yeah.
Sassel.
So, one who are Christian, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask the next question. You know, breaking the spell on the blacks, yeah?
Yeah.
Book. That book there, yeah, is recommended to read.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, Tawata.
You're welcome, Samar. Yeah. It's one of what we call during the time in the Right Knowledge series of scrolls. And if you get that book, highly recommended. Yeah, highly recommended. I don't have it on me, it's in my head. Okay, now let's continue reading. I want to read something to you all. Right. Let's continue on finding the facts. And there's a word here called epistemology. Have you ever heard of that word?
Yes, it means something you knowledge.
Epistemology.
Pronounce it again.
Epistemology. E-P-I-S-T, epistemology, E-M-O, logy, L-O-G-Y. That word. There's a word, okay, I'm going to do some, I'll do a bit of reading here between, there's a word called ontology. Have you heard of the word ontology?
Yeah, read the origin of it.
That's correct. Ontology and epistemology. I want to read some, and this is all going to tie in. Ontology is the study of being and reality. What exists, focusing on whether reality is objective and or subjective and constructed. Epistemology is a study of knowledge. How do we know what we know? Focusing on the methods, validity, and scope of knowledge. I'm going to stop there.
We seem to have lost Haptwy. Whilst he comes back on, has anybody else got any questions?
Robust again.
Rahubat, Jose. Rahubat. Kayafatira Antak?
Yes, the definition of the second definition, epistemology. Yes, the second definition, ontology. Yes, I got it. But epistemology, what is the definition of it?
Okay. I think, oh, he's not back. I didn't catch the question, the original question. Can you just repeat it for me? And what are you reading from?
Oh, actually, Haptwy was sharing the definition of both etymology, not even etymology, ontology and epistemology. So I didn't get what epistemology is, if I'm getting the concept right.
Okay. All right, let me so it's basically it's the theory of knowledge, right? So like the methods and the validity, basically the distinction between justified belief and opinion. So for example, you would hear a lot of people who quote religion and they study religion as anything with the ologies, right? So theology, right? They will study theology based on a curriculum. And a lot of the times when you start to press people on what their beliefs are, they will quote philosophy. They will go into this thing of philosophy. You hear a lot of people will say, you know, what is your philosophy, or your philosophy is this, and so on. But when you start to research,
Mike, check.
Okay, Haptwy is back.
Can we be heard?
Tua.
Tauta.
Oh yeah. So let me just finish this, and Haptwy can take over. So that the Greeks were the ones that were pushing philosophy, and when you start to look at the New Testament, that actually is pushed by these Greeks that were really they were really FBI agents that wanted to kill all the so-called disciples of Jesus, and then basically put Paul, who was a false disciple, self-appointed, into place to push their false Christianity. But I yield back over to Haptwy, and he may expound. Tauko.
Yeah. When we talk about religion, let's quickly stop here. When we talk about religion is quickly talk about this. I listened to on YouTube. One brother said it like this: religion is deification of your culture.
What was the word?
Religion is deification of your culture.
What's that word?
Deification.
Deification.
You deifying your culture.
Yeah.
Religion is deification of your culture. Now, should a person adopt a religion that is not part of their culture?
No, I don't think they should. I don't recommend it.
Anybody? Should a person or people or persons or people adopt a religion that is not indigenous of their culture?
Absolutely not.
No. So why is that?
Well, put it this way. I went to Nigeria. I was expecting to meet my relatives who came back from Brazil. They came back as Catholics. But I had an expectation that they would be African. But they look like African, but they behave like European. So I was confused. So from that that experience with them, I felt they should not become Christian. But of course, when you're taken over to a plantation, you know, in Brazil, you have no choice but to become a Catholic.
Right. So you've got your culture, because your culture is your, we often say, is your means of identification, isn't it?
Yes.
Your culture is all inclusive. The food you eat, the clothes you wear, everything is representative of your culture. So, your culture is all inclusive, is your means of identification. Now, when I say religion is deification of your culture, religion should be on the top of the pyramid of your culture. The reason for that is because your deities, our deities, are reflective of our ancestors. So because when you cross over, you become an ancestor, and these are those who we should venerate, who we should call upon for guidance, because they have walked the path that we are walking, and they could see, they got a panoramic view of the third dimension. We can go into that later on. So when we talk about the Bible and Quran, the thing is that we have to, because our people is entrenched in the Bible and Quran into monotheism, is not to battle with them, but it's to wean them off of it and let them know that this is not, it's not something that's part of our culture. Something that is called, the word for that is called acculturation. Look at that word, acculturation. When they adopt a culture and try to intertwine it with their own. You see, and Wu Sabat is Wu Sabat. The word Wu Sabat is our culture, the culture of the Sabians, or the culture Wu Nawab, the culture of those Nawapians. Okay, so now we said that reality is subjective. Come back to reality is subjective. However, there comes a point where, because the reason why they say it is subjective, there comes a point whereby it's because of how we've been. Reality is not, as they say, is not fixed, meaning that it is malleable. We have that power to alter reality. How? By changing our consciousness. So now when we talk about collective consciousness, or people use the word Christ consciousness, that basically means then that we are all thinking on one accord, and we are now moving into a fifth dimension. But we're going to talk about that very shortly. Just want to continue reading. So have you got any questions so far? Anybody? No questions? I just want to read something else for you all. Right. This is something that I picked up from now. So I want to read here.
Rahubat.
Rahubat, am I able to ask a question?
Tua, Haptwy seems to have frozen again. So yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to find out why we say amen. I know that Christianity likes to separate itself from like Egypt, but I believe the word amen derives from there. Why do we say that after prayer?
Right. When you say we, I presume you mean religious people.
Yes, yeah, Christians, yeah. We're all religious people, yeah, exactly.
Right. So the word amen actually comes from the fact that religion, monotheistic religion, especially Christianity, were all copied from ancient Egypt. And the deity Amun, Amun, if you go to Revelation 3:14, you will see that that deity is there, but it is spelled as the Amen. In the ancient languages, when you use words, you can interchange the vowels. So if you take the word Amun, Amun, if you replace the U, sorry, with an E, becomes Amen. And that's
Okay.
they're getting it from Amun. So
Amun,
they
okay.
don't even realize that the gods of Christianity all come from Egypt, because Egypt is verified and they've actually got writings on the wall, and they've dug up beans and taken DNA, and Egypt exists. So Christianity doesn't really have any evidence to provide for what they're doing. Bits of it is still left because it was stolen or borrowed from ancient Egypt. So even the Muslims, they say Ameen at the end of their prayers, which is the same word Amun, and the Jews say Omein as well. So that's why they say a lot of things they do, they don't even know why they do them, or they say they don't know why they're saying it, because the Nicaea Council and those who stole everything from the Greeks in terms of Osiris, Isis, and Horus, who become your God the Father, God the Son, and then instead of the woman who brought about the God, the man, and the God as in the Son, they leave out and they go to the ghost and start push the ghost spell of the concoction or the lies that they came to give about Jesus being crucified on the cross, etc., etc. So they ended up pushing a ghost spell, or the spell of Leviathan or Kingu that they've put on people by way of religion. I see Haptwy, are you back? Are you ready?
Yeah, be ready, Isabel.
Okay.
Okay,
you know about the spell?
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
It was Snow White.
Okay.
This witch came to visit her,
Yeah.
gave her an apple, and it was poisonous, and she fell asleep for 100 years, I think it is.
Okay.
So it was a spell.
That's okay.
There's an example of it in a story about
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I was trying to connect it to something what you said about spell.
Yeah.
Spell.
Yeah, the spell has been enforced upon us continuously.
But it was broken by a kiss from the prince.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I thought that for that as well. Right.
What's the relevance of that?
Okay, so okay, let's delve into this class subject matter, the size of the circle and the square, and you, and how it pertains to us. Right. Let me start by reading. Okay. Start by saying this, that if you go to Genesis,
I think he's frozen again. Again, whilst we wait, I'm just filling in the gaps. So if anyone else has a question, I'll be happy to help. Are there any questions at this time?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead, Drea. Drea, is that right? Am I pronouncing your name correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Earlier you said the crucifixion of Jesus, that wasn't the real story. Is that what you said earlier?
Yes, it's false.
It's false. So who was crucified on the cross. And also in the story, there were two, I don't know if you remember the two thieves that were on either side of him.
Right.
What was that then if the story that we know as religious people isn't true? Then how does the story go for real?
Okay, so according to the story, this is what the best way of trying to explain this is like, if a movie is made, right? The movie has a storyline, it has characters, and different people watch the movie. And then when they relay the story of the movie, people will give you their version or interpretation. They will leave things out. Some will say this happened. Someone else will be like, maybe you just lost attention for the few minutes that the part that the other person is saying happened. So when we teach and try to bring people out of the spell of religion, we have to use the story. So when we teach, we will say, according to the story, even within the story itself, we can use the story to debunk and prove that it doesn't make sense. So according to the story, Jesus was able to transfigure himself and transfigure other people. How do you know this? Because they tell you that he was able to feed the multitude by multiplying loaves of bread and causing fish to commit suicide and just fall into the net for him to feed people, right? So we know that he's able to transfigure. And if you go back and read the story and see when like the Pharisees and all these people came to arrest him, if you read it again carefully, they didn't even know who he was. And they say that they had to identify him by Judas going to him to kiss him on the cheek and all of this kind of stuff. And when they went to get him, it tells you they all fell on the ground. So there was a scuffle within that story. And then basically Jesus transfigured Judas to look like him. And so they took Judas, and it was Judas that was crucified on the cross. On closer inspection, when you start to look at the story of Judas, they would tell you in the book that he went away by himself and hung himself, found a rope, went to a tree and hung himself. Now, somebody's obviously relaying this incident, just like the Genesis story where someone is telling you about what God was doing and what God did. But in the spell of religion, your mind doesn't see and think, well, who was it that was watching him go and get a rope? Because obviously he didn't write it out. He didn't write, I'm getting a rope now. I found a tree. I'm putting a rope on my neck and now I'm hanging myself. He didn't write it. So who was watching it? Or is it hearsay? And even if it's hearsay, where did that story come from? The fact of that in that time, crucifixion by the cross was just a normal thing. It was just like having the electric chair in America today. So it was a normal form of crucifixion. And the two people, as you say, they were just people that were guilty of crimes, and they were also to be executed that day. So yes, according to the stories, that is what took place. And according to the real evidence, no such thing took place, because there isn't a shred of evidence. They tried, even the whole point of when Mary then came to the garden and said that she was looking for her master, words like master are left untranslated, because master is Rabboni, right? So he was a rabbi. And to be a rabbi in the Jewish traditions, to teach in the temples, only you have to be married, number one, to be able to be a rabbi. Number two, Mary was looking for her husband, because she said, I'm looking for my master, right? The fact that she was oiling his feet and all of that previously, only your wife can touch your body and do those things according to, the rabbi traditions. He actually turned around and said to her, why do you look for the living amongst the dead? And he said that I have not yet ascended. And he told her a lie. He told her to go and tell the people that he was, because he was in a disguise, because now he was hiding and he was dressed as a gardener. That's why they said she came and she saw a gardener, because he was now undercover, to bring it to today's language. He had to hide because obviously if they found out that he was still alive, they would go after him. And the fact that the transfiguration of Judas would only last for a few days, the people that were working with Jesus, according to the story, they were included in it, and so they were the ones that had to get his body and get rid of it. And that's why they took it from when he was hung, and they threw it over and dismantled his body so they would not be able to find out what had taken place. They then met with Jesus and smuggled him out of the country by way of the Jesuits, and they went through France, and he ended up in Egypt, and as the story goes. So there is a lot missing because many of the books that tell you other accounts, they don't put them in the 66 books that you find in the Bible. So you have to read, Mary had a book, you have to read the book of Enoch, you have to read other books that go into the details of what actually took place as it was recorded. But what we're saying is all those stories in terms of the people are taken from real people in Egypt, and then people like Josephus Piso, they then took those stories and wrote plays to become what you're calling the New Testament. And his family actually were involved in playing the characters of the play. So all one has to do is do some research, and you will find out that it's actually a concocted story. Most of the characters, your Moses, your Abraham, none of these people existed. They're all taken from ancient Egypt. Moses is Thutmose. Yeah, when you're saying Abraham, you're saying Abra and Ham from Kemet. You can literally find every story in the New Testament and what they call the Old Testament, which is really the Torah. You can find all those stories in ancient Egypt. The flood of Noah is Sennacherib in ancient Egypt. The crucifixion that they tell you about, if you read Psalms 22, it's the crucifixion of David. The immaculate, so-called immaculate conception is from Elizabeth and John the Baptist in the Old Testament, that's been borrowed over to the New Testament as Mary, the Virgin Mary. She wasn't a virgin in the first place, because when you start to research what a virgin is, she had children, etc., etc. So I know I've gone wide, but it's just to put things into perspective. And this is why we keep saying that, oh, Haptwy is back. We have to get the spell of religion out of us. And we use the spell as a part of the antidote until you come out, and then we can give you actual facts based on Wu Sabat and give you the right knowledge, the right wisdom. And then we go into, obviously, the master secrets and the hereafter doctrine. Haptwy, are you ready to
Yeah, we're back, but we can't activate our cameras.
All right, give me 2 seconds and I'm gonna help you do that.
Tauta.
Sorry, Drea, did I answer your question? If not, please.
Yes, that was perfect. Thank you.
All right. Try now, Shem. I yield.
Oh, that's amount.
No. Still not able to enable the cameras. Here we go. Tauta.
Antaka terfu.
You should be ready to go on that.
Oh, okay. Before we continue, is there any questions on the Zoom?
Rahoba, I got a question.
Go ahead, Zamal.
From your understanding and research, you know sickle cell disease, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it a Yarapu, or does it come from, Ganawa?
Say the question again, Zamal.
The disease, sickle cell, yeah? From your understanding and research, does it come from the Yarapu, yeah? Does it come from the European, or does it come from, the continent?
Zamal. Can you ask the question again? So we lost you.
Okay. So, you know, from your understanding and research,
Nadum Zamal, it looks like he's frozen again. Yeah, the sickle cell comes from mixing with the Yarapu or European.
so it doesn't come from Ganawa.
Naod. And
Okay.
and when you say Ganawa, again, remember that Ganawa was actually infiltrated by the mixtures of these Europeans and extraterrestrials of like the Anunnaki, etc. So before any mixtures, nothing that would Africa or we really should be saying yeah, I mean we could say Ganawa, but there were no diseases or any of that prior to the mixtures.
Okay. Tawata.
And Takaterafo. Yeah, I think I don't know if you can hear me, Shem. You may have to change the device that you're using because it keeps falling out. I think the internet connection is bad. So whilst you change the device, I can stand in. Any other questions from anyone else? I'm sorry for the constant freeze and interruption. Okay, they're back again. Shem, I don't know if you heard me. I was saying maybe we need to change the device that you're using. Your mic's muted. Okay, I'll take one more question while they're sorting that out. If anyone has one at this time. Go ahead, Bree.
Rahubat Zamal.
Rahubat Zamal.
With my question, I'm gonna digress a little bit. There's been weather advisory for a while now regarding the weather and what's to expect, next winter. So I'm just wondering if this El Nino is related to Nanar, which is son of Enlil.
If you do you have the holy tablets?
Naut.
Okay, wow. In the back of the holy tablets, I don't have it with me right now. There is a section called the Seven Thunders that you will find El Nino in there, and the master teacher broke down about the Seven Thunders and what's going to be happening, because at the moment the manifestation or the man that is infesting the planet is causing all kinds of weather and earthquakes and all kinds of things that are going to take place as this sun cycle comes more and more into effect. So we definitely teach about bringing the master teacher home to guide us to safe places. So as we approach 2030, he has already given us guidance by way of, like the book, the 9, I think Haptwy was reading from. There's a chapter in there that's called A Meteorite, and he's spoken about a lot of calamities that are going to be taking place. And the fact that the longer the Mukasu holds the master, the worse weather and things like that are going to occur, because Mother Nature is actually very unhappy with what they're doing. And so this is why we must unite and we must do everything we can to get the master teacher home, because he is the one that really knows. And the guidance, there's a book called The Guidance as well. So really, people should be going to the local bookstores to get the information about what to do and how to prepare for things that are coming. It's no joke. We have to unite. We have to come together worldwide, regardless of what religion, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jew, whatever you think you belong to in terms of these beliefs are not going to help you. Because when things that affect us as Nagaru, they don't really look at you and go, well, you're Muslim or you're Christian or you're Jew, so we're not gonna attack or come after you. They don't, that religion doesn't come into it. It's literally about racism and the color of your skin and so on. But Haptwy is back, so let me yield. Haptwy, I yield back to you.
Thanks, Amal. Just to go over the sister's question about El Nino, and you'll find this in Sequen said back to the Holy Tablets, which is called the Seven Thunders or the Seven Plagues, and you just read about the fourth thunder, and it reads, signs of twins, Ya and Wei. We say Ya and Wei, meaning that Ya mean agreeable and Wei disagreeable. One guards the South Pole, the other guards the North Pole. Havoc begins with these poles. Structures, the reason why they say havoc begins with these poles is because there's a shift. The planet is shifting. It is shifting from, because the planet at the present moment is on a 23-degree axis and is shifting back to perpendicular. And as it's shifting, there's climatic changes. Okay. Structures break down, religion, moral, and financial, meaning that there's corruption at the highest level. And there is, what word they use? When they say rapture, there's many different meanings behind the term rapture. And rapture meaning that people are now beginning to wake up. The rapture meaning that they're waking, basically that's it, they're waking up. People are becoming more conscious. The reason why people are waking up, the reason why people are becoming more conscious is because of what they refer to as the coming in of the Aquarian era of time. Because you know that we have the 12 houses of the zodiac, and each house is named after a particular constellation. And we came out of the Piscean era, and we're now in the Aquarian era. There's a lot of mathematics behind that. So we're in this house of Aquarius. In Wu Sabat, we call it the age of Ptah, or the sun cycle. And when we say the sun cycle is something that you can actually research this, and you'll find that they have what we call the sun cycle, we call it the moon cycle. There are 4 cycles, each of 6,000 years each. It gives you a total of 24,000 years, approximately. There's what we call a sun cycle or solar cycle on the planet, and you also have a moon cycle and a lunar cycle on the planet. But however, this is on a planetary scale. We also got one on a galactical and universal scale. So the galactical cycle is what we call the sun cycle, and we call it the moon cycle. We're coming out of, we are actually entering into the sun cycle. And as we come into the sun cycle, the planet is getting hotter and hotter. So people say global warming, and it just happens because people are using a lot of
some say cars, too many cars.
Well, all that's doing is exacerbating the conditions. They are making it more exponential. They're making it occur even quicker. But it's a natural cycle. So when they talk about fourth thunder, it talks about
and that's another way of keeping the truth away from the people,
Yeah.
by telling them what's really going on. So they were going to say, oh, it's global warming, and make up all these other things,
Yeah.
and say this is why we're having global warming. Then coming out and actually telling people the truth and what it really means and what's really going on. They just want you to think, oh, it's just a natural global warming, too many cars on the road, and that's why you're making electric cars and stuff like that. And to keep people away from the truth of what what's really happening.
Yeah, you're 100% right. What's actually, and the thing is that what was what we are very so fortunate is because we have the master teacher in our midst, who's here to bring in, not only bring in the sun's cycle, to bring in that mindset of that will help increase or elevate the consciousness of the planet, of the people. And there are many others on the planet who of different races, they have their own visitors or non-physical beings or entities that incarnate into them, and they're telling their people, many people on the planet. However, the highest is Partner Babi and Anan. Okay, so going back to the question here, if you go to the fourth thunder, it reads, signs of the twins, Ya and Wei, one goes to the South Pole, the other goes to the North Pole. Havoc begins with these poles. Structures break down, religion, moral, and financial. People are waking up, and the forces that control religion or all these structures is dissipating into the atmosphere. It is an inevitability. Those 9 ether forces, 9 etheric forces, are now interpenetrating the atmosphere, and it's having an effect, a global effect. So not just about Nagara, Nadu, Negroid, is everybody is planetary. Okay, and it goes on to say, the devil wins, El Nino takes over. Now you can research that, and this is what comes up, and you have to Google that. It's what comes up. El Nino, it says here, it's a recurring climate cycle characterized by the warming of ocean surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropic Pacific. It disrupts normal wind patterns, driving massive changes in global weather, including increased rainfall in some regions and severe droughts in others. Now, as we said, we come into the sun cycle, or the sun cycle is in, and it's things like it's going to accelerate. Now, as the planet gets hotter and hotter, what do you think is going to happen? Okay, the North Pole and South Pole. What do you think is going to happen? No, okay, it's the North Pole and the South Pole. What's the North Pole and the South Pole?
The ice age?
What's going to happen when it gets hot?
The ice is going to melt.
What's going to happen when the ice starts to melt? What's going to happen to the water?
Flood.
Flood. Flood where? Like the whole planet, isn't it?
On the planet.
Yeah, so you're 100% right. So certain parts of the planet go underwater, and certain other lands is going to rise up. So this is this one. Now let's look at okay, let me read the next one now. So that's it says here, the devil wins, El Nino takes over. It's got here the fifth thunder. And it's got here, 4 great people will perish. I can't remember the names. The master did give the names of those people who perished. And it reads, floods, lightning storms, tornadoes, landslides, hurricanes, hail in the summer, forest fires, children killing children, children killing their parents, rampant insanity and murders, upsurge in drug addiction, and demonic revivals parading themselves as righteous. All this is taking place as we speak. Okay? So, and it says here, El Nina, we had El Nino, you got El Nina, little girl will come. Let's have a look at what it says El Nina. And it reads,
El Nino?
I think you got, oh, they don't have that. They spell it the same way. Okay, little girl will come. It doesn't say what El Nina. It says El Nino, but it says El Nina. Okay. Oh, that says it's got here. It's got here. Let's read it here. It says here, is El Nina, yeah, El Nino, so about the heating up, is El Nina hot or cold? It reads, it's a bit of a scientific dance between ocean and atmosphere, with the opposite ends of the spectrum known as El Nino, the warm phase, and let's go here, La Nina, the cold phase. Together, these extreme phases are called the El Nino Southern Oscillation Cycle. So basically what's going to happen is that there's basically extreme weather patterns whereby you have extremely hot phases and extremely cold phases. So this is what's happening on the planet Earth. And continue with that, we have the sixth thunder, changes occurs, the star people return. Hearing that now. Okay. Just got the movie out the other day, Disclosure, you know, I mean, he's John, and that guy, do some research on Steven Spielberg, and you'd be surprised what comes up with him. You know what I mean? Because obviously he's got knowledge. He's got knowledge, and what, you know, he's putting out what he's been told, the knowledge that he's got. Okay, so it's not just another movie, he knows stuff.
He's putting it out at the right time.
Yeah. Because remember, there's what you call the shadow government behind it all, right? Signs in the skies, new planets, new galaxies, meteorite storms, climatic alterations, global warming, spiritual revivals, presence of divine, disregard and respect for present world governments, leadership, and politics. This is to bring in what they call a new world order, or not the new world order by the disagreeables, but the new world order by way of the Galactical Federation. Okay. The seventh thunder, end of the world as you know it, the year 2030. When we say the end of the world, we're talking about the end of an era or of a cycle, not the end of the planet Earth. We're talking about the end of an era, or the end of, let's say, the era of Pisces and coming in of the era of Aquarius. And as Ken mentioned about this scroll here, not to like anybody scared or whatever, but is it gone back to the 9? See that? I'm just gonna read something here. And talked about the meteorite showers. This is page 103 of the 9, Amot Sahu, and it reads, right, it reads, Nawapians, know that the day shall soon arrive when the big meteorites shall strike this planet. All will be shocked, fear of the end of the world. That is not the end of the whole world. Much destruction, much death and injuries, a day and days to follow. Because of it, people who were separated will join as one. The fears will have powers stronger than separation and racism. Apophis, Abaddon, Apollyon, destructions will change the minds and hearts of the people. Let's go ahead. If you go to Revelation 9, 1 to 21, breaks that down. Let's quickly jump to that. Let's quickly find that for you all. So these are just reference points. Right, he reads. Oh, yeah, that's quite a lot, yeah. This one here. Yeah, there's quite a bit here on the book of Revelation 9 to 1. You want to read that, and this is talking about, yeah, I'm just going to read the first verses. 1, Revelation 9 verse 1 reads, and the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. I can't really break this down. The master teacher wrote a book, actually translated the book of Revelation, and in there he gives a full breakdown of what the whole book of Revelation means, because this is a book that not many people can decipher what's actually been said in this particular book of Revelation. So I haven't got the book on me, but if somebody's got the book online, Second or whoever's got the book, they can open that and read
Book of
that.
Revelation?
Yeah.
I have it on my phone.
No, actually, what the master wrote is called
Oh.
Ayers Holy Injil. So in there, he gives the proper translation of what the meaning behind that. Okay. So, any questions before we continue? No questions. Okay, let's continue with this class. You know, we talk everything about rather than about the cycle, about the science of creation. Okay, that's it. We're talking about the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 1. It says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Let's stop there. You said that. Your internet connection is unstable. It says that how we know that the creation of we know that it says in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. We know the earth is the planet. When it says the heavens, what are we talking about when it says the heavens?
The sky, the galaxies.
Okay, let's say the sun, moon, and stars, right?
Yeah.
The sun, moon, and stars. So in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, the heavens, the sun, moon, and stars. If we take away the sun, moon, and stars, what's left?
Space.
Space is left. Okay. So that means then that if God created the heavens and the earth, take away the sun, moon, and stars, you're talking about space. Now, we're saying here then that space was created. Right? I mean, so space was actually created or it was grown. So the beings that, or the higher intelligences, obviously exist in a state that is outside of space as we know it, correct? Okay, so now, hear this now. This is what it says. We read it from the Black Book or the Sacred Records of Atumre. I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. In order to create something, the Netiru, who are also known as the Netiru, the ancient ones, headed by a group of rays called Atumre, Omunre, created a state of nothingness in which to place the 99 elements or attributes of this state by Huhi, the eternal, or things on this side of hydrogen. Now, there's a lot that's been said in this one verse. So it says here, I'll read it again. In order to create something, another word for create is to grow, okay, or to give birth to. The Netiru, or also known as the Netiru, the ancient ones, headed by a group of rays called Atumre, Amunre, created a state of nothingness. Does anybody know what is meant by nothingness?
Literally means offer.
They created a state of nothingness.
It's two words, no things.
That's right. Keep it going.
Apart from that, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It is the opposite of something which is here.
That's right.
Materiality.
So something that is so you hold the mic because you're on the right track. So you say that something is something here that's material, but which is from hydrogen, helium gone that way. But periodic table. So when you say nothing or no thing, it would be going in the other direction. So what word do we use for nothing or nothingness? Begins with E.
Empty.
No, the ETH.
Oh. Ether?
Ether, the etheric realm. Okay, let's read it again. The Netiru created a state of nothingness or the etheric realm in which to place the 9 elements or attributes of this state. That means then that in order for them to create the etheric realm, means they exist outside of that state, correct? So now the question we ask is, what state do they exist in? Quite simple.
Maybe they're celestials.
So this is what's the, okay, let me give you a clue. What's up here?
Mind.
Mind or mental. Yeah.
Mental realm.
See, that's it. So they exist in a state what we call the mental realm. And from that realm, they created a state of nothingness or the etheric realm to put something in. Get me? So when we go back to the universe, when you take away the sun, moon, and stars from the universe, you're talking about space. So they existed in the mental and created space. So they exist in what we can be referred to as real space. A state of, simply put, existence. You cannot add to existence and you cannot take away from existence. For where would you put it and where would you get it from? Does everyone get that?
No.
You get that? So you know, you've got existence.
Yeah.
You cannot add to existence. But where would you get it from? Where would you get something to add to existence because it already exists? You get me? You cannot take away from existence. For where would you put it? Because exists. You cannot take away from existence. You cannot take away from existence. And there's no edits. There's no such thing as non-existence. It doesn't exist. You get me? So there's certain concept we have to start getting into our head. So now, how did they create space? No, hang on. Before that, let's continue. You know what? This takes to a whole new level. This verse here. It's now let's stop there.
Well,
Go ahead.
I think that I've been told that atoms are made of subatomic particles, and there's space between these particles. But I don't know exactly, but they're because they only have a certain density, so there must be space between these two subatomic particles, I suppose. I don't know exactly, but yeah.
So yeah, well, I think I'm trying to understand what you're trying to get at. What it is that you know you have the master put it like this. You know you have a tick and a tock of a clock.
Yes.
Tick, tock, tick, tock. In between the tick and the tock is a space. That space is a realm or a different dimensional realm.
Okay.
So let me put it like this in terms of the human body. We have what, you know, we talk about that, we use the term metacognition or super consciousness. Because we have the conscious mind, we have the subconscious mind, we have the unconscious mind, we have the superconscious mind. And that superconscious mind, they call it metacognition. A high state of awareness. Now, the way to access metacognition in the human body for yourselves is like this. You know that we have an internal voice that goes on.
Yeah.
A dialogue. You know, there's a voice going on in your head 24/7. If you, it's an exercise to do, which is simply your thoughts, and the mind does not like to be observed. The mere fact of you observing that internal dialogue and it stops, there is a dimension that you have just tapped into. A higher dimension. A higher dimension.
This past week or so, I've experienced something which you might say is not thinking, but aware of being, but just not thinking, just existing, just not moving, not thinking, but conscious of existing. I don't know what you call that, but
Yeah,
it's a different experience than I've had before.
yeah. That is an exercise that you should practice as much as you can.
But
And
it comes, it comes from breathing exercises, and then at a certain point, it seems like you don't need to breathe. You just exist. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to move. You don't need to start thinking of anything. You just are. You just are being, or something like that.
yeah,
I don't know how to explain it, but that's what happened.
yeah. That is, we'll say something, Samal?
I have something similar to what you just said.
Oh, yeah.
This happened to me early this week,
Okay.
and I was actually listening to a gentleman on YouTube, and he was talking about leaving your body, and you're having your spirit leaving your body and your consciousness and stuff like that. And for the last, I've been listening to him for a few weeks now, and I was practicing in it by just lying on my bed and stuff like that. Peace, quiet, TV off, phone off, everything. And I just came in off the road maybe like less than an hour, and I was just lying on my bed, and I was just thinking about like my spirit leaving my body and going into a different realm. And as I was thinking about it, I felt myself, my eyes were wide open, looking in the roof of my the ceiling. I couldn't move, I couldn't talk, but I was aware of everything. And I'm thinking, and I'm like, okay, my spirit leaves my body, but I was somewhere else. But for some reason, I know I was lying on the bed, and I was telling myself, talking to myself to go back, to go back, to go back. And the more I'm telling myself to go back, it was like really hard. So I'm trying to move. I'm trying to even kick my feet out, and nothing. And I was trying to yell at, and the moment I was trying to yell, it just comes out, and I just yelled out, and I'm like, holy, and I'm looking around to see if there's anyone in the house heard me, because I'm staying inside of an Airbnb, I don't want people to think there's a crazy guy in the room just yelling. But once my spirit came back in my body as I was trying to yell, and then it just comes out loudly in the house, and I'm like, oh man, but I wasn't scared or anything like that. I'm just like, oh, yeah, this is real.
Yeah. The term they use for that is they call it astral projection. And what it is that we have an etheric umbilical cord that connects your astral body to the physical body. And it's when we sleep, it temporarily expands. It doesn't disconnect from the physical body, it expands. So when we are dreaming, we are moving into different dimensions when we're dreaming. I talked to somebody today, and they're saying how.
What do we need to do that for anyway? Why does our spirit need to leave our body then at night time?
Oh yeah, why? What it is that it's a form of recharging or rejuvenation for the physical body. You see, it happens every night we go to sleep and we dream it. The reason for that is because our brainwave activity level drops down from the waking state, which they call the beta level. It drops down from the beta to the alpha to theta, and deep sleep, they call it delta. Okay, it drops down, and during that state of slumber is when the astral body has the ability to temporarily release itself and travel to other realms.
So what are we doing there then? What are we doing?
Do you know that you are actually living in those other dimensions?
Right.
You see, and the mere fact that you're doing that, we do that every night, is that it energizes our body when we wake up. See, that's why we could have a certain amount of sleep. Okay, have a good night's rest, as they say.
Oh, you mean we get energy from the etheric world?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
for our spirit.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. It's got something to think.
Sorry, is that the same as what the experience? Sorry, I don't.
Marvin.
Marvin, what Marvin experienced. I'm wondering if it's the same as what I experienced many times when I go to sleep at night and I'm sleeping, but I'm feeling like there's something pressing on my body and I can't move. I can't see what it is, but I don't know if it's a dream or if it's my spirit come up, but I've left the room, opened my bedroom door, and run down the stairs and open the front door. And that's vivid.
Yeah.
And it's happened so many times. And then and I'm trying to scream out, and I can't scream out. I can't. No voice would come out, even though my mouth might be like moving, but it feels like something's really pressing on me very heavily. I don't know if it's the same thing that Martin was experiencing.
Yeah. That's called they call it sleep paralysis. The term they use for that when you're momentarily paralyzed, you can't move, but your astral body, because we got many cloaks to the physical, and you got the astral body, you got the spiritual body, you got the soul, different cloaks we've got. So what it is that it temporarily, the astral body temporarily disconnects from the physical, and you're able to move. The thing is that you just have to be very conscious of that actuality. I'm quite surprised you're able to actually open the door, because more than normally you just walk through the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about just walk through the door. Yeah, you open the door. Yeah.
Something similar again, I would like to share with you. And every time I talk about this, I get like a little emotional because it felt so real. And actually, it was so real. This happened about 17 years ago. I'm turning 42 this month. So at the time, I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And this was at home back in Toronto in Canada.
Yeah.
And lived on my own, at my own apartment. And I was just sleeping one night, and he's like, I want to use the washroom to take a pee. So I got up. I actually walked to the washroom to take a pee. And as I walked back to my room, I saw myself lying on the bed.
Yeah.
Like as I walked back to the room, I was lying on the bed.
Yeah.
So I kind of stand up.
Yeah.
And like I heard a voice in my head say, just go back on the bed and lie down.
Yeah.
So I went back on the bed and lie down. And as soon as I went back on the bed and lie down, I jumped up. So I started to think. So I'm like, did I just use the washroom?
Yeah.
I know I just went to the washroom. Is this a dream or something? And then I got up now. Now I really got up to see if I really used the washroom. And you know when you flush the toilet and you could hear the water, you could see the water coming up? That was the water in the toilet. And I started thinking, and I didn't go back to sleep. I looked at the time, it was about 3-4 a.m. in the morning around that time. And I'm like, this is crazy because I know I went to the washroom to take a pee. I flushed the toilet. I went back to the room. I saw myself lying on the bed. I went back on the bed and lied. And then as soon as I lied down, I just woke up. And when I woke up, I even started to breathe like heavy, like, you know, and then I started to think like, I know I just used the washroom. And from my bedroom, I could hear like when the washroom water is filling back up. So I got up and I walked to look in the washroom. The light was even on in the washroom.
You've got to switch the light off.
Huh?
You've got to switch the light off.
I forgot to switch the light off. So the light was even on in the washroom. And the water, I could see the water in the washroom with the bubbles and stuff. Like it was, I just flushed the toilet. And I've been telling that story for almost 20 years now.
Yeah.
And it's so real.
It must have happened just in a few seconds.
I can't explain that situation as well, you know what I mean? So, but
it must have happened within a few seconds because he could come back in his physical body again and then go into the washroom and see the water just as if it's just been flushed.
Yes, exactly. And so the bubble, like you could hear it. Yeah, and I'm like,
that means it could only be a fraction of a second or something like that.
Absolutely.
So that's
what would you call them? What would you call? My one was, what did you call my one?
I don't call it sleep paralysis. I don't know. That you know, it's definitely travel. You're definitely traveling, and you're actually interacting with physical objects. Same with yourselves, Amanda. I mean, you're able to open the door. You see, so you're actually
Because, sorry, I would have said with Marvin, I've experienced sleeping
Mm,
and I've gone to a different country.
mm,
And I remember lying on the bed and saying to myself, how did I get here on this bed? Saying to myself, oh my gosh, I'm looking, and I said, how did I get here? And there was someone standing in front of me, and he was just staring at me like shock.
yeah.
Like, you know, what is this? What's that mean? And I said something to him, but he couldn't speak.
Yeah.
And then I went back into myself.
Right. This is why when you hear phenomena like that, this is why we have to study quantum physics. Because in quantum physics, quantum mechanics, they call it superposition, meaning that we are in many different locations at the same time. That's what they call it, superposition. So it's not like we are here right now, but there are what they call different timelines and different realities. So life is not fixed, meaning it's not, this is it. I mean, this position now we're in multiple positions. That's the term they use. They call it superpositions at the same time. You see, so and when you talk about being here 1 minute and then your mind you're in a different country, that means simply because whether you know it or not, you have traveled at the speed of thought in a different location.
So would that be my
That'd be your
spirit?
or your spirit or your astral body, but yeah, at the speed of thought, located to another country. Now, when you're dreaming, this is really gone away from the topic. When you're dreaming, did you know that because you are in a different dimension, or fourth dimension, or even a fifth dimension, how you look, or you see person, places, and things in that dream state, with your physical eyes, you won't be able to see them because they're vibrating at such a fast pace, you won't see them. Because your body is vibrating quite fast when you are in that dream state. The body, the astral body is vibrating at a faster rate than the physical body. That's why people could go from here to the moon and they're there almost in an instant. It takes because he's traveling at the speed of thought. Certain extraterrestrials, they travel at the speed of thought. So they could travel intergalactically or interdimensionally, and that's it, you see.
How I saw this person then?
Sorry. Yeah, so
I was actually just lying on the bed. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, so how is it that I saw this person standing in front of me?
I can't explain that. Did you know that when you travel astrally, or it's called astral projection, when you do that, other beings can see your astral body.
Oh,
yeah, they can see you. Yeah, other extraterrestrials, they can see your astral body. Yeah, so it's not like you could see them, but they can't see you. They could see you. Yeah. So what I do recommend is do a lot of chanting. Do a lot of chanting. The chant, if someone said to me, what one chant would you recommend? I would say to them, do the Om chant. And the Om chant would be AUM or AUM, AUM, AU, AUM. That is Om. But you would chant it like that. AUM, AUM. That's how you do it. AUM. But you breathe in. Breathing is very important because when you're breathing in, you're warming up the brain cells. So you're breathing in, breathing through the stomach, breathing through the nose, you push the stomach out, and you do it like that. keep on doing that, keep on doing that. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, how long?
For about 5 inches, 5 centimeters. No, let's keep on. No, you know,
Let's say 5 minutes.
no, you know, do as much as you like, you know. But if someone said to me, what one chant would you recommend? That would be the chant, because that lines you up with the omniverse, all those feminine forces. You see. So yeah. Let me just read an excerpt what the master teacher writes. It's actually in the black book about that particular chant of Om. Let's quickly read it for you. Because you see that particular chant, I think I'll find it for you. Right, I found it. Right. When we are chanting, we should chant to the tone of Om. All our chants, we should chant to the tone of Om. So we got Aum. Aum. So you breathe in through the nose, push the stomach out. Aum. Let's say we got a chant, we say, let's say, Anuki Jawif Parashugem Papaud. Aum. You can hear the tone. O Kalulashu Konja with Nia. Aum. You can hear the Aum. And when you say it all together, it comes out as Aum. But the tone is Aum. Now, I want to read this from the Black Book and see what it says here. Because everything was created in tones, frequencies, and vibration. So what is that tone? And he goes, okay, I want to read this here. He's got here. There are forces of nature that created space. Many forces, not just one force, there's many forces that created space. These forces are mental. And 3 of them are called Huhi, Hika, and Sia. Huhi is, you can liken Huhi to the yin and yang of Chinese dualistic philosophy, masculine and feminine. In Arabic, I won't tell you about Arabic, let's take to a whole new level. But anyway, so let's just read this. Huhi, let me read to you what Huhi is, Hika and Sia. It reads here. This is from the Black Book, page 114, and it reads, question, who or what is who? 296. In Egypt, Hu-Hi, which is who or hua, is considered the personification of utterance with which the creator Ptah, who was regarded as creator of the physical world and deity of technology, done its work. Now, this word who or hua means he and. Who is he and the what is and. This word hua or huhi is where they got the word Yahweh or Yahuwah from. Basically, it has its origins in the Egyptian mystery system. Huhi is the feminine and masculine forces combined. In Arabic, the word Who is called the Zu in Arabic. For those who know Arabic, the letter will be Dal and Wa. And that with Dal and Wa is Zu. And the He will be that, will be Dal, Alif, and Ta, gives you that. That's the feminine, and the Zu will be the masculine. That's in the Arabic. When you can take it into the Egyptian mystery system, it's Hu He. Now, Hu He reads was the utterance or tone, the vibration and pulsation of existence. Sorry. That which comes to existence within the sacred breath. Who is that tone from which the Creator calls things into being with, it says Creator calls things into being, into existence, with Hika and Sia. I'll stop there. There's a lot being said there. When he says call things into being, talk about into existence, he's talking about the creation first of space. And this is what it says here, skipping a lot. And that tone or utterance is Om, which was later rendered as Kun, as in existence or be. The word Kun in the Quran, they use the word Kun fire Kun, which is wrong, but anyway, means into existence. I say Allah calls, in order for things to come into existence or into being, Allah merely says kun fayakun. So what you're saying there about the tone is Om. So when we are chanting, that is the tone that we should be chanting to. So you can say any chant you want, but due to the tone of Om. And that word Om ties into the omniverse, or as we say in Mispatia, Pa Kale Makwanat, or Pa Pa'ut, the all existing. Okay. Now, does anyone get that? Hope I'm not trying to lost anybody. Okay. So what I'm saying to you is that when you are do the Om chant, if someone said what chant I recommend the Om, or you got a list of chants, chant to that tone, and that is your means of protection, especially when we are using our own language as well. It's our means of protection. The doctrines are protection as well, because the master said it like this, is that you are your own master, but you need a spiritual master to help guide you through these higher planes. And if you tap in astral, and many people who they call it, not only to call it astral projection, they call it but there's a word they use, they call it remote viewing. That's what remote viewers do, meaning they're able to remote view people, but they're looking at people, they're looking at their astral being. They're able to do that, or travel off planet, but they don't tell you this. You go on YouTube, type in remote viewers, they don't tell you this, but they do stuff behind the scenes to protect themselves, because beings can come after them. Beings can see their astral body and take them out. So they do a lot of protection, you see. So that's why I do recommend that when you do a lot of chanting to the Om tone, or this is why you need your ancestors as well to help protect you as well. But the master says that's why we need a spiritual master. And what the master is saying in essence of that, I'm your spiritual master and I can guide you. The spiritual master. That's why you say is there's a spiritual master, one who has mastered the physical and spiritual realms. You see, 720 degrees, 360 degrees of the physical realm of information, and 360 degrees of the spiritual realm or outformation. That's why they call him Parnabam, Galactical Master. You see. So so we talk about these forces. We're talking about in order to they created a state of nothingness to put something in. So what we're talking about is before they created space, they created a state of what we call zero dimension. So in order to create, so that means, as we said, in order for them to create space, they exist outside of space as we know it. And before they created space, they had to create what we call zero dimension. So from zero dimension, they drew a line, or a line was formed or growing from zero dimension, which is one dimension. From that one dimension, then they drew a circle or grew a circle. So a circle is, when you're drawing a circle, from that point, it is it is one dimension. When the circle, when they draw a circle, when the points meet, that becomes two dimension. From that point, then they created what's referred to as the square. So they created the circle and the square, and the master puts it how they turned the circle inside out, meaning they made the circle into 4 quarters, turned it inside out, and you got the square, and they placed the square within the circle, and that's how they started to grow the other dimensions. So now, when you look at the circle and you look at the square, shapes it creates an illusion to make you think that a circle and a square are different, but the properties are equal because both a circle and a square equals 360 degrees. The reason why the square equals 360 degrees is because it has 4 90-degree angles. Okay, so now from the second dimension, so that's the 2 dimension. From the second dimension, then they created the third dimension, which we are in right now. But what is actually happening is we are actually in the 4th dimension, and from the 4th dimension, we are looking at the 3rd dimension. Okay? And from the, so let's say we are in the 3rd dimension, or let's say you got a cube and you got this sphere. We are looking at it from being in the 4th dimension. So when we move, the planet is actually moving up into a 5th dimension. And from the 5th dimension, we'll be able to look at things from a 4th dimension, 3rd dimension perspective. Meaning that we'll be able to look inside, we'll be able to look behind the wall. We have to look inside our bodies, look inside other people's bodies, because we're now viewing things from a 5th dimension, 4th dimension, or actually from a 5th dimension perspective. Okay, hope I'm not losing anybody.
So can I just sort of topic for a minute?
Oh, go ahead. Get the mic out.
You know, when Pennsylvania was created, yeah, and before were they created at the same time or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, what's that again with?
Adam and Eve created at the same time or?
Yeah.
And one more, you know that basically God told Adam to name all the animals and stuff, yeah. And you know when Cain killed Abel and went out to the wilderness finding himself a wife, were there animals on the planet before God said that animals be created? Before the other people that were originally on the planet that came out and wilderness and got his other wife.
Yeah, animals were created, yeah. They were created. Yeah, you have to go to Genesis. If you talk about Cain and Abel, if you go to Genesis chapter 4, it reads how Cain was a tiller of the ground and Abel was a herdsman. He was based of sheep. Obviously, I mean, sheep was around, animals was around. But we look at the, I remember you asked this question many times before, the same question.
No, not about the animals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What you need to do is go to Genesis chapter 1, read chapter 1 first, it tells you that. And then if you go to Genesis chapter 4, it tells you that Abel, he was a herdsman of sheep. And
I see a lot of YouTube event will be able to be challenging or tripping around.
See, so but as you know that Adam and Eve, he said many times, weren't the first 2 people on the planet Earth. The Jewish rabbis date Adam to have been born in the year 3761 BCE. If you add 3761 BCE to the year 2026, you come up with 3,000. So you come up with 5,787 years to date.
From there.
Yeah, from according to Jewish rabbis, Adam.
So you're not even on Earth for 6,000 years yet.
This went up to 6,000 years.
Yeah.
That's it. This is but there were other Caucasians prior to that, which were Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon. Yeah, but the Adam and Eve of your Bible, they only existed, 5,787 years.
Yeah, and that was
Plus or minus.
And that was Adam and Eve was this.
Sorry?
Is it from their Adam and Eve or from Adam and Eve?
No, it can't be from our Adam and Eve because we had millions of years way before that in the waters.
Yeah, of course. But I'm thinking, the Bible says this, but it's not 100% true. But I read in a book, what's the name? No, what's the name? It's got a Bible. Enoch and.
Would go to the mic.
Yeah, I read on the Bible's not fully completed because it took certain books, and now they released the book of Enoch that was in the Bible. Is it the one that they're releasing? Is it true or not true? Is it made up or?
Okay, right. In order to know whether it's made up or not, what you need to do is get the book of Enoch, because more than likely it's written in the cuneiform or the Akkadian, and if you know that, then you can also decipher whether it's right or wrong. But what you tend to find is a lot of these books that they write, and you purchase it, it's got thee, thou, and thus. So you have to say, so why is it in Shakespearean English? Why is it in a proper, So again, it's a part to enforce and dispel. But it's good to read these books, just for research purposes. You see, and there's many books that's actually mentioned in the Bible, but are not in the Bible. You see, and the books that creation stories like the Enuma Elish, the Epics of Gilgamesh, the Tablets of Eternal. You find some of these books in the Holy Tablets that the Master has put forth. The Holy Tablets really is to explain what those religious books, Quran and the Bible, couldn't explain. So you put the Holy Tablets. You see, so the Bible and Quran expired in the year 2000 AD. Now that we're now in what we refer to as the hereafter doctrine to give us this right knowledge that we need for this day and time towards our means of liberation and salvation. But unfortunately, what it is that a lot of our people are still stuck in religion, so we have to wean them off of religion and give them this right knowledge. So people often ask, why does the Master always use the Bible and Quran if it's not our story? It's because our people are caught up in this, and our story is in the Bible, but we have to give them the right knowledge, the right wisdom, and the right understanding until they have an overstanding. And so that is the methodology that the Master has used over the years. And he himself said that when he originally came teaching, 1962, 1963, he never actually came giving us religion. He came giving us right knowledge, or wunawat, we should say, or nupu, or wusabat. But we wanted religion. So he said a thing. I came giving you what you wanted, so you would eventually learn to want what I have really come to give. So he knew they only had 30 years to give us religion. From the year officially from the year 1970 to the year 2000 AD, because that 2000 AD marked the expiration date of those of monotheism. From 2000 AD or 2003 AD marked the coming in, or the sun cycle actually started coming in the year 1970, and now we are actually in the sun cycle, and we need sun cycle outformation, which is what he's given us right now with the actual facts, Patarak, and the Master's secrets. Okay, so we should submerge ourselves in these books of the living rather than stay in the books of the dead. So when we are talking about religion, we have to let you know that, okay, our stories is in there. We have to extract our stories, get into the book of life.
So basically, I want to say, is the oxygen in the space?
Oxygen Yes. Why'd you ask the question? Why do you
Because basically, I took it to someone and said that in order to start a fire, in order to start a fire, you need oxygen. So I think, how does the sun shine constantly if it doesn't?
Right.
Burning for like last 6 or million years, whatever.
Yeah, that's a very good question, because people say, well, prove it that there's oxygen in space. Well, simply because the word of this element called hydrogen. Okay, because hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. And does anybody know what the word hydrogen means? You hear it all the time. We all heard of the word hydrogen there. Does anybody know?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what.
Okay, right. The word, when you hear the word hydro, what comes to mind?
When you heard the
Well,
word hydro,
Yeah,
light or something.
hydro. You hear the word hydro. As in hydrogen, you hear the word hydro.
Hydro, what comes to mind is pretty much your hydro bill.
What's that?
Water.
Water.
Water comes to
Yeah,
mind.
that's it. Water.
Hydrate.
Yeah,
Okay.
hydro is water, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what they're saying, the water. Okay, so in the word hydrogen, you hear the word hydro, which is water. What is the element for water? For what's the formula for water?
H2O.
H
2O.
H2O.
H2O,
H2O.
which is hydrogen and H2O is hydrogen and what's the O?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. So is there oxygen in outer space?
Yeah, finally, yeah.
Why is that? Why?
Because the sun got H carbon. What's called what's it? Carbon dioxide.
Then you said it because of hydrogen.
Yeah, hydrogen.
Hydrogen
Yeah.
and hydrogen, and you had hydro, which is oxygen and hydrogen.
Yes.
This gives us water,
Yes.
but water in a gaseous state. You get me? So we think of water like you see in the swimming pool, innit? So how come there's no fishes in, like it's in a gaseous state?
Do you know there's more species of fishes in the sea than mammals than any human people on the earth, and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Another topic. So yeah. So now there's water in the sun, isn't it?
Is there water in the sun?
Yeah.
I'm thinking I know there's the cloud is water, right?
Yeah. I was what the sun though. So okay, get my
The cloud is water.
Yeah. You know, that's about the sun.
Well, the sun is hot, right? The sun's
Yeah.
supposed to be hot.
Yeah, but what gives sun the heat?
Um,
You're on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gas. Hydrogen and
Oxygen.
helium.
Oh, helium.
So now, with that mind, okay, so there's water, but you're thinking that, oh, there's water like in the ocean and the sun, isn't it? But it's in gaseous state.
It's a different form of water.
Yeah, because water can be solid, liquid, or gas, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
yes.
And with increased temperatures, it becomes ionized. Of increased temperatures, it goes into the plasmatic state, etc., etc. So these are things we should be studying what do you call it, thermodynamics. We should study this. You see, not only we should study our bodies, but these are certain things we should study these sciences, study thermodynamics. Okay, so now we said we've got we said that water is in outer space because of the word hydrogen, with hydrogen being the most abundant element in existence. So now we said that hydrogen means water, the gen means birth or generate water. That which generates water, that's what hydrogen means. I think the word generate, or to give birth, or produces.
you know that we've got a hole in the ozone there, yeah. But well, why don't I understand? How do the clouds and clouds move, and how come clouds can't go disappearing on into space? How does it keep the clouds around the world like doing what they do for left to right, or rain here, rain there? What causes the clouds to be clouds?
Okay, it's quite simple because of the fact that because of evaporation. You see, the water, because of the sun heats the water, and because the water is continuously going back up to its source. The master says water is always returning to its source. You see, remember this is a water planet. So as the water rises in little droplets, it creates the clouds. I know they've got different names for clouds, isn't it? You see. So now, going back, that's a very good question to ask.
Yeah.
Especially if there's oxygen in outer space, because we said we got hydrogen, we have to build on that. You got hydrogen, and we said hydro means water, and we said that hydrogen means that which generates water. So you said hydrogen and oxygen gives us water. So we have hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen. Oxygen being the 8th element. So before we get to oxygen, we got all those other 7 elements.
So all of that is in the atmosphere.
Yeah. So before, unless you could, because all the elements in the periodic table come out of hydrogen, correct? Now, hydrogen is the latest update is the master has yet to give us the true existence of hydrogen, because I've always pondered about that, because for hydrogen now, hydrogen is the first element on the periodic table, and it's not a full physical element. Hydrogen is the midway point between the physical and the non-physical. That's what the hydrogen is. It's not fully physical. In order for it to be a fully physical element, it needs another hydrogen atom to combine, actually about 3 hydrogen atoms to combine with it to make helium. Okay. So when we are okay.
You said we have the moon cycle, the sun cycle, the moon cycle, and you mentioned another 2, I think, cycles, but can you?
Yeah, we have the moon cycle and the sun. That's what we call the moon cycle and the sun cycle.
Yeah.
You got the age of Aquarius, it was called the age of Ptah as well.
Age of Ptah.
Ptah, yeah. Okay, right, yeah. So because a lot could go into Ptah as well. Someone put here, Ray Sananda puts evaporation could well mean ascension in a way. Ascension, that's when we talk about ascension, what we are saying is this knowledge, this right knowledge the master teacher's given us is in such a way is to transform us from a physical to a non-physical being, back to an Ethereal, meaning that we will have the ability to transform at will into an Ethereal and make the ascension back. Now, there are 2 paths. You got in our language, Lahaj, Mispatia, we have what we call one who descends, which you call Nazul. Or the word we use is one who descends, we call them Pamunzal. I think the master teacher, Pamunzal Nadara, an incarnated master who descends. And as he descends, he comes giving us the right knowledge so that we could ascend. The word in our language to ascend is lazun. Everyone say that, lazun. You got nazul,
Nazul.
which is to descend, and to ascend is called lazun. Lazun. Or ones who ascend, we call them mulzun. Mulzun, one who ascends. One who descends, we call a munzal or munzul. Okay. So go back to this question here, as ascension, you're talking about to ascend means you become what we call a mulzun, one who descends like a galactical masters, they call a munzal or munzul. Okay, so one who descends as Parnabab munzal, amunubira akpata. This takes you to a whole new thing in it, new dialogue. Okay, so evaporation could well mean ascension. In a way, yeah, you could say that. But to evaporation as meaning that we are in the forms of transforming. You can use the word evaporation as in transforming from a physical back into an ethereal, and certain being can. But it's like this: in order to leave this earth plane, we need to have that ability to turn ourselves inside out. Okay, we'll say something about.
Basically, what I want to ask, yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Superman, continue.
Okay. Anybody on Zoom or Clubhouse has got a question that like to be asked?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, you know, okay.
See in the Bible, they mentions about rapture. What does rapture really mean? 'Cause I think rapture, like, maybe rapture into a spaceship or something up. All my life, I thought rapture, like you're going up somewhere. I thought,
Up to Malakut.
Well, the rapture, we talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Can I explain to one?
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much we talked about it earlier. We said the rapture is coming back to our knowledge, the truth,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, because we've been lied to for so long. We got caught up in this Christianity and religion, and we don't know who we are, and coming back to who we are, knowing the truth and stuff like that. That's what we consider the rapture. And as you can start seeing, a lot of people are waking up to this knowledge.
COVID, and for the last couple of months, I've been getting a lot of boxes of fans, and you've been posting in people's doors.
Yeah, so in religion, when they talk about rapture, they say, "Oh, Jesus is coming back to rapture the people." But
what's that word meaning? The actual word.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, no problem. It's got here. What is the meaning of the word rapture? Ecstatic joy or delight. That's what the word rapture means. Often raptures an utterance or expression of ecstatic joy or delight, joyful ecstasy. Okay, but according to religion, they say it's when Jesus comes, he'll rapture the 144 people. But however, in the word rapture, you hear the word raptor. It is these reptilian beings that's come in and actually occurred in a place called Nome, Alaska, where these beings.
It sounds weird, but
Go ahead.
One more question I want to ask you. You see that basically people when they die, wherever they are, but you see that when Tammuz or Yeshua, whatever you want to call it, come back, is that the same as all the other beings in the universe, or is it just here that can be judged?
When you say judge, what do you mean by judge?
You know when the mothership comes back, Nibiru, and which turns over into what about where is the bear on top of other planets who are picking up different beings or
different beings will be picked up. You've heard this now. It's really good you mentioned that. I've got two people on Zoom. I'll come to you in a minute. Right. So let me say that this then. When you talk about the return of the mothership, that's mentioned in Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. And the ruler of that is none other than Malachi Zadok.
The ruler of the mothership is
Malachi Zadok. What people don't realize is that if you go to Genesis chapter 14, verse 18, it talks about how Melchizedek, king of Salem. That word king, he was a priest after order of the Most High. The word used is Helion El. King of Salam means he's a ruler of a place called Salam, or abode of peace or bliss. Now, if you go to Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, it reads, "And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and the new Jerusalem coming from God out of heaven." This new Jerusalem is Hiru Salam, the far away abode of peace. So this abode of peace, or this Hiru Salam, or Jerusalem, the ruler of that is Malachi Zadok, or Melchizedek. And people don't know about it. This is the thing on, if you go on YouTube and type in who is Melchizedek, it will come up on YouTube. And they got no dialogue for him. Because they say, if you go to Hebrews chapter 7 from verse 1, reading down to verse 9, it tells you without father, without mother, no genealogy, because he is an extraterrestrial. Okay, galactically known as Yanun. Okay, so if you go to Revelation chapter 5, reading from verse 5 down to 7, it tells you how when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, which you find in Matthew chapter 26, verse 36, it tells you when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he said, "Oh, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass by me. Not if my will, but if thou will, but thou wilt." This Father was Melchizedek. When it says Matthew chapter 6, verse 9, I'll give you all these first, I hope you was writing this down, unless you've got good memory, like I have. If you go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 9, it reads, "Pray," Jesus said, "pray ye after this manner, our Father who art in heaven." This our Father is none other than Malachi Zadok. And when it says, going back to Genesis chapter 14, verse 18, "And Melchizedek was a priest after the order of the Most High," what they're saying is the Most High has a priesthood, or the Most High is a priesthood. Take whichever you want. The Most High is a priest. Okay, the Most High has a priesthood or is a priesthood, and Melchizedek was after that priesthood. So would that mean Melchizedek was a Most High? But hear this now. Who initiated that order, the Most High? A question. I start thinking, because if it's a priesthood, that means that somebody had to initiate that priesthood. Yeah. Do you know what? You just answered the question just now. Your question is the answer. Yeah. As who he. It's quite simple, isn't it? You know how, isn't it? You know what I mean? So Melchizedek is the incarnate in this day and time. And the master tells you that in a video, as we said earlier on, how to prove the existence of the Most High. And in one of the old school tapes, that means during the religion, Ansarullah, he says it like this: while tutoring John through the book of Revelation, this is what he's saying. So he's letting you know that he tutored John, son of Zebedee, through the book of Revelation. So he's telling you, the master's telling you who he is. And they've got no genealogy for Melchizedek. They've got no, they don't even know who wrote the book of Malachi. Well, they must probably know now because he said it, you know, son of righteousness. And you find out all the prophets of the scriptures were initiated into his order. Even Jesus, they said he was a high priest after the order of Melchizedek forever. Doesn't say that he was a high priest after the order of the Most High, but he was a high priest after the order of Melchizedek. I'll be saying Malachi Zadok. Oh, they use the word, now use the ancient and mystic order of Melchizedek, but now you now call it that ancient AEO, ancient Egyptian order. And as it happens, the letters AEO, REO are the vowels because there's only 3 vowels. So they're letting you know the origins of language, where that's coming from, the Egyptian mystery system. Because most of the languages, not every language, but most of the languages on the planet Earth is composed of those 3 vowels, I, E, O, or A, E, O. And now we said earlier on about, if I said to you, what one chant you should do, and I said, oh, let's add another one to that list. If you can't remember, remember this one, I, E, O. So again, you go, I, E, O. But here it is, you're doing to the tone of, oh, I, E, O. These are the 3 vowels.
So that one's okay to do.
As long as you do the tone of to tone of om. You see? These are the jewels. See it? Guess what?
Mel, we have Kosi with his hand up with a question.
Okay, Kosi, then let's have 2 more questions. Okay, 2 more questions. Kosi and Tokuzo.
Takudza. Zamel Kosi was first.
Go ahead, Zamal Kosi, before we I forgot about you. Go ahead, Zamal.
Rahobat Mulma. Oui.
Rahobat.
I wanted to know what does the marriage ritual in Wu Sabat looks like, and is there a bride price?
Okay, that's a very good question. Someone else asked that question. What is that we used to have a marriage ceremony scroll back in the days, but that needs to be updated for this day and time. But what was said is that it's the feminines who will be initiating that ceremony. So in terms of what it looks like, I can't really give you an answer based on this current moment in time. So that will be coming soon anyway. So okay, so that's as far as I can take it. So
Wow.
okay. A lot of our families, the feminines will be presiding over that. I know they're presiding over that one as well, the marriage ceremony. And Kuzwa, go ahead, Samuel.
Rahobat McDowell.
Rahobat, Samuel.
Talk for the class as always.
Yeah, talk.
My question today, I've been having a few discussions with people about Nagaru not eating meat.
Okay.
And the question seems to always comes back to, what did our ancestors eat? Were they eating meat? And also, why do we have, a lot of us assume they were hunters and gatherers, and they were hunting meat.
Okay. Right. We never. Okay. The master said it like this: we shouldn't eat anything. We shouldn't eat anything that has parents, okay, and have eyes. So really, we should be eating fruit and veg. Now, why should we be eating fruit and veg? It's simply because of the fact that anatomically, our alimentary canal, which is where the food passes through, is long. Unlike carnivorous animals, their alimentary canal is short, so they can expel the toxins quite readily. And okay, however, in saying that, if we've been eating meat continuously from mother and father, granddad, etc., for years and years and years, then there's some that's within their DNA. What we should be doing is weaning ourselves off it. Meat, especially like we talking about meat, we talking about you talk about lamb, or you talk about beef, etc., etc. Meat requires a long time for the body to break down, to digest. What compounds the digestive process is that when we eat meat, we're not just eating the meat, we're eating the fruit and veg on the plate that goes with the meat. So that and to take it even further, you're having a pint as well. It goes down the pint as we drinking. So that slows down the digestive processes. Now you say, well, if you go to Africa today, you see them in Tanzania, they're eating baboon, etc., etc. But look how they eat it. The difference is that you find that they're just eating the baboon or they're eating the monkey, whatever they eat, or whatever. They that's what they're eating. That's it, bam. They have fruit and veg on the plate as well as, so it's something that a person would have to wean themselves off of. I personally, I still eat fish. I still eat fish, not in abundance though, but I still eat fish here and there. But it's something that it's a process. It's a process that happens over time. You see, so
I notice when I eat fruits and vegetables, my body feels a lot better and healthy than when I eat meat.
Yeah. What it is that
if you sleep better too, when you eat fruits.
Yeah, what it is that we like to eat, because of how we've been brought up or how we've been conditioned in the West, we like to eat a lot of heavy food. Black men like you don't like those small look like heavy solid food. Eat some heavy solid food, and when you're eating vegetables or really, ideally, especially in the morning, we should be eating water-based fruits and veg. The reason for that is because it's easier and quicker to digest, or let's say to assimilate. Okay, so but I remember heard a story about this guy said to the master that his wife couldn't conceive, so they're trying for children, and he said to them, "Do you eat meat?" And they said no, but they come off meat. When it came into the doctrine, and the master says, well, you may have to go back eating meat until you're able to conceive, then come off it. And apparently they start by eating meat, the sister conceived, then they went back off it. So it's something that's also within the DNA as well, due to the lineage. Your mother, father, grandmother, blah, 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 been eating meat for years and years and years. So it's still in their system. And so what
color on that day do we have to wear when our ancestors come and tell
when you're
when our ancestors come back in the bill, what colors we have to wear? Get white color, specific color, or yes.
No, okay. Not really. When we wear white at funerals. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, but
white.
yeah, when we have funerals, we wear white, not black. What we should be wearing is cultural attire. That's what we should be wearing continuously. Okay. With that, fam, sorry, we ran out of time, and
Or you're going to bare naked when they rap, and everybody shall see your shame.
So really, we know that when we die, we get cremated, but it's a whole new thing. Okay, fam. With that being said, we'd like to say tawakkul. Thank you all for attending class. Remember, you all make the class, and had a lot of difficulties. This due to I think the gremlins here. So with that, fam, until the next time, we'd like to say Akros Wadu. Give and take care. Take care. Until the next time.
See you on the line and challenging people.
I'm going to be here in the country for until the end of the month, so I will be here next Saturday again.
So, okay, fam, I'd say thank you on Zoom and Clubhouse. Wadu.
Wadu Ashok.